Hello and welcome to another presentation of WCBN Sports' coverage of Michigan basketball. I'm Alex Drain, joined by Nick Hornberg here for Michigan's final regular season home game, and home game overall. There's not going to be any postseason here at Crisler, so the swan song of the 2019-2020 home slate here in Crisler Center, and Michigan coming off a pair of losses now at 9-9 in conference play, 18-11 on the year, number 25th nationally, hosting a really struggling Husker squad, 7-22 on the season, 2-16 in Big Ten play, and this is an opportunity for Michigan to get things right.
Good opportunity for Michigan to get a parting shot, get a little bit of momentum rolling before going into Maryland on Sunday, and what'll be their last game before the Ncaa tournament. And they are almost certainly going to get a single bye, but that is very much contingent on them winning this game.
Yeah,
because they could very well fall into not a single bye, and that's a very, very dangerous place to be. Least of all, it's extremely inconvenient for me because I have to go out to India a day earlier. But
well, and this is a game that, you look at this Michigan team, this is a game they need to win. Nebraska has been on a long losing streak going all the way back to a game they won against Iowa. And, you look at, they got to win against Purdue, then they got to win against Iowa. They were 2-2 in the conference, and since then they lost 14 straight in conference play. It has been a tough slide in year one for Fred Hoiberg. This is a roster that's pretty gutted, and so they sit here just looking for any momentum, does Nebraska. And for Michigan, it's an opportunity to get a really easy win and coast into the postseason tournament.
There's still a lot of hope going forward for Nebraska. I think Fred Hoiberg has certainly earned that, but no doubt this is a tough season for Nebraska, and in a conference that's incredibly tough. This is about the closest thing. This is about the closest Michigan will ever have for an opportunity for a free win.
Yeah. So Michigan in the maize uniforms, Nebraska in the reds, and we're about ready to get going. John Teske will do the tip-off. He's at 11.7 points per game, 6.9 rebounds per game, and Michigan's got Eli Brooks in the starting lineup. He's still wearing that mask that he debuted against Ohio State on Sunday in Columbus. Obviously, he missed the last home game against Wisconsin due to the broken nose issue, and the tip-off there is won back by Rudrago, and Nebraska will set things up, passing it around the outside. You've got a starting lineup for Nebraska as Thorbjarnarson goes to the rack, and he misses that one, pulled down by Livers. It's a lineup that is definitely just a mishmash of spare pieces that Fred Hoiberg either cobbled together through transfers or through guys he added late into the recruiting class after being hired away from the NBA to this Nebraska team. John Teske gets the ball at the elbow, turnaround, baby hook is good.
That was a great finish by John Teske, but something you want to see in Michigan's offense is Franz Wagner took a pass from Xavier Simpson in the corner. He was pretty open, could have gotten a shot off, but instead opted to look to pass optimally in a Juwan Howard offense. That ball's going up.
Ouedraogo has it down low, kicks it out to Cheatham, steps in. That's a long two, and he knocks it down. This game tied at 2 apiece, 1 minute gone here in the first half. Xavier Simpson brings it up. He had a career game in the most recent home game against Wisconsin, a loss last Thursday, a week ago from today. Now they go right back to Teske. He's backing down, turns around to the left this time. It's a little strong off the heel, and the rebound pulled down by Cheatham. Hanif Cheatham, the leading scorer for Nebraska, cuts through the lane, going to the rack, then strangely kicks it out to Thorbjarnarson, and now held there. Nebraska dribbles inside, long fadeaway two is off the mark there. A really, really tough fadeaway shot from Dashawn Burke.
They hit the first one, but if Nebraska's going to keep settling for long twos all game, this is going to be a long night for them.
And a storyline entering this game, Cam Mack is suspended. Starting point guard is missing this game. Livers an open three, and he knocks it down, coming off a small screen and putting it through. And now they bring it on up. Nebraska down 5-2, 2 minutes gone. Ouedraogo, the 17-year-old Frenchman, backs down on the block. Walled off by Teske, and he threw it away. Franz Wagner goes down the lane, and he jams it. 7-2 Michigan. An emphatic dunk from Franz Wagner.
Wagner flashing the athletic talent. Sometimes it gets him into trouble on defense with all the fouls. Sometimes he gets a little aggressive, as shown in Nebraska's first bucket. But there you see a great move up to the rim.
Cheatham pulls up from three, and he is off the mark, halfway down, and then it pops out. Simpson gets the rebound, brings it on up. Screen there from Teske. Now a great crossover on Thorbjarnarson. Kicks to Wagner in the corner. His three rims around and no. Teske gets the offensive rebound, though. Out hustles 3 Huskers under the basket. The rest of the Michigan players have started trotting the other way, and Livers drives. He'll draw a reach-in foul. 17-19 to go in the first half. 7-2 Michigan. That's the first foul on Nebraska and the first foul of the game.
Michigan playing the way you want to see early on against an opponent you're heavily favored against at home. Jumping on them early.
Now Isaiah Livers, one of the stories in this game for Michigan. Can he get hot again as they find Wagner under the basket for an easy bunny? And it's 9-2 Michigan. Wagner's been pretty hot. Livers has been pretty cold. The 2 wings for Michigan going in opposite directions preceding this game. Now Burke drives inside, crosses over Brooks. The floating baby hook is off the mark. Rebound pulled down by Wagner. Up comes Eli Brooks. He's going to find the German. Dribbles inside the 3-point arc into the lane. Stripped by Burke. Rolling to the corner, and it's saved there along the baseline. And now coming up the other way, that was Charlie Easley, the backup point guard starting tonight, getting low now. Thorbjarnarson dribbles in the lane, then threw it away. He's trying to kick to the corner. Brooks takes it away up to Simpson, lays it up, and lays it in. 11-2 Michigan. It's a 9-0 Wolverines run, and Fred Hoiberger called timeout.
There's a few things to address in that exchange of possessions. Franz Wagner spent a lot of the season playing like a headless chicken, which is something you kind of expect as a freshman. His shot, he's really been fighting his shot much of the season, but you see there off the inbound, his second bucket, the quick layup, that's a high IQ play. You can sneak in under the basket on the inbound and make that layup. That's essentially a free basket. And Michigan's had a couple turnovers on inbounds in the last few games. That's something you really want. That's an example of a freshman maturing with time. And Michigan defensively, that's quite simply, that's the optimal way you play defense. Nebraska is making their share of mistakes, and Michigan's making them all pay. First it was Wagner, and then Eli Brooks jumping a passing route, creating an easy fast break on the other end for a teammate.
A quick team timeout. Nebraska has not scored in 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Michigan a 9-0 run in the last 98 seconds. They inbounded in, and we'll bring it up. This is a Nebraska team that is heavily shorthanded. They only play 9 dudes ever, and without one of them being a starting point guard, they are playing from a very thin group of players. Cheatham with it on the right wing. Now up to Easley at the top, gets a small screen, dribbles inside the arc, now kicks it back out to Deshaun Burke. He'll go back to Easley. Easley curls around into the lane, 5 on the shot clock, throws up a floater, and it goes down 11-4. Michigan on top. Nebraska breaks the skid, and Simpson now will bring it up. Livers handoff to Simpson. Gets a screen, dribbles around the exterior. Now finds Livers, or no, he's going to go inside to Teske, off the window, and it rims out. Teske, an easy look, and he missed it. Tough roll there from the iron. And now up they come the other way. Cheatham into the lane. Nebraska's done a lot of driving into the middle, and then they are hesitant to take it to the rim, tend to kick it out and settle for long 2s or 3s. Now to the lane. Burke finally gets to the rack, and he lays it in.
Teske's finishing at the rim has come under a lot of scrutiny the last year and a half or so, but that one had good touch. That one should have gone in. If you're Teske, that's just one you look up at the sky and ask the basketball gods, what have I done?
Yeah. Simpson dribbles with it outside into the lane. This trademark hook is too strong off the heel. Of course, Simpson and Teske being honored here tonight on senior night. Nebraska comes up the floor. Burke's going to try to dribble inside, walled off well by Wagner, and he'll just get it out to Cheatham. We've seen a lot of him. He drives in the lane to the rack, lays it up, no, underneath Udrago, got it back, and then he'll draw a foul.
I thought Franz Wagner got ball. That's a risky defensive play there when you have both Teske and Wagner going up. Wagner probably shouldn't have gone up. Teske was in pretty good position to stop that one, but I thought Franz Wagner got the ball. Granted, my vantage point is terrible, but that is very much a play Wagner showing his youth. That is a play that he should not have made.
And so now we have a commercial timeout, the under 15 whistle, 14:58 to go in the first half. Michigan 11-6 lead over Nebraska. And interestingly enough, the women's team is in the exact same matchup going on right now in Indianapolis.
Yep, the women are currently under 3 minutes in to the first quarter now. 7 minutes left in the first quarter. They're up on Nebraska 8-3. Amy Dilk and Naz Hillman doing all the scoring themselves. But this game, a little frightening because in a trip to Lincoln back in January, Martin Luther King weekend, Michigan blew an 18-point lead against the Huskers. So this one, certainly not a joke. And then especially Michigan State, the 8th seed in the tournament, taking a loss to Purdue earlier today.
At what seed is the women's team in the tournament?
Michigan is the 7th seed. Nebraska is the 10. Which is right where probably they should be as far as their place in the 10. Of course, Michigan in the last game of the season got worked by Indiana at the Crisler Center on senior day. Ruined my last women's basketball call. I was very sad. But Michigan's had some tough losses. They've also had some bad luck with injuries. Danielle Rauch broke her hand. Kayla Robbins tore her ACL. Michigan only has, and then Ariel Young's transfer, Michigan only has 9 eligible players on their team right now. So they've really been playing with 2 strikes on the count already for much of the last month and a half of the season.
And what is the NCAA tournament picture right now?
The NCAA tournament picture right now is that Michigan, you probably feel assured about getting in, but right now you're probably saying if you win the first game, everything else is gravy. I think Michigan will probably be lower than an 8 seed. That guy looks so much like Rupert Grint there on the Jumbotron. But as stated, already been a shakeup in the tournament. Michigan State was the 8th seed, lost to 9th seeded Purdue. Susie Merchant's team had Kim Barnes-Arico's number for most of their respective careers at Michigan and Michigan State, but Michigan swept Michigan State this year, won by 20 in Ann Arbor and then won by 10 in East Lansing. Great in that respect as Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman's introduced here at the Crisler Center. I didn't know he was a White Sox fan.
Well, maybe he isn't. Maybe he's just wearing that for show.
Then that's disappointing.
I don't know.
But that's something you wonder. That Michigan's had a lot of frustrating losses this season, but that is one thing they can take care of. Is a Michigan State really been a monkey on their back for several years. This time they finally got him twice.
So out of the timeout, 14:58 to go in the first half. 11-6 Michigan on top. The first free throw goes up and goes down for Ivan Wodrago. That now makes it 11-7. He's got another free throw upcoming after that foul on Teske. Wodrago delivers that free throw a little too strong, and it dribbles off the rim. Wagner pulls down another rebound. He's already up to 2 now in the early going of this game, and we're going to have a reach-in foul on Deshaun Burke of the Huskers. Simpson brought the ball up just across half court and then drew the foul. That comes at 14:51 of the first half. 11-7, Wolverines on top. Simpson dribbles the ball. He's out by the Block M logo at half court. Now dribbles inside the three-point arc, throws on the brakes, kicks it out. Livers straightaway 3 is good. Isaiah Livers 2 for 2 from 3. The 43% three-point shooter looking strong so far for Michigan after a bit of a slump the last couple of games. He was shooting 50% from 3 at one point in the season. He's battled injuries throughout this year. Injured on 3 different occasions during the season. Now dribbling inside to the rack, and it's blocked there. Cheatham tried to go a spin move up to the basket, and Teske swatted it. First block of the game for the big man from Medina, Ohio. Now Simpson dribbles in the lane, kicks it out to Wagner, down to Livers. They swing it around. Brooks on the left wing to Teske at the elbow. Now Teske will pass it across to Livers. That one goes off Cheatham's hands and into the first row. Michigan will get the ball staying in the offensive end. 13 now on the shot clock. 14:04 to go in the first half. 14-7 Michigan on top.
That one almost hit Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. They're down there by the ESPN crew.
And Brooks inbounds it in to Wagner. Now back to Teske. He's going to go to his right this time, and that hook shot is good. Rattled around a couple times and decided to drop. Gets better luck that time. Michigan up 9, 16-7.
That finish was a little heavy-handed. That was the basketball gods throwing Teske a bone as a makeup.
And now Nebraska with it, dribbling inside, and that one immediately taken away. And up comes Michigan the other direction. Simpson inside, lays it up off the window, and a little too strong. Was trying to draw contact from the Icelandic power forward, Þórir Þjórbjörnsson. Now dribbling inside, Deshaun Burke goes around Simpson to the lane, and that one is blocked by Wagner. His big arms up there, now goes to Cheatham in the corner, and he knocks it down. Three-pointer there for Nebraska, 16-10. Gervais Green out there right now for the Huskers. It's Green, Ouedraogo, Cheatham, Thorier, and now Teske lays it up, and that hook shot drops. Goes down 18-10 the score. Teske has now got 6 points on the game. He's got 6. Livers has 6. Michigan leads by 8. 12:55 to go in the first half. Ouedraogo now out to Burke. His three-pointer's too strong, and it's pulled down. Simpson comes up with it. Dribbles inside to the paint, lays it up with the offhand, and not able to go down. Nebraska pulls down the rebound. Up they come the other way. Cheatham trying to dribble to the lane, now kicks it to the corner. Burke thought about it. Now they'll just pass it around. We've seen a lot of Burke and Cheatham with the ball handling here in the front court. Now Green's going to drive inside, and Wagner stripped it away. Got the hand in there. Now Michigan comes up 3-on-2. Nice passing to Livers. Lays it up, and he missed a bunny. Tried to go around a potential charge situation, and he missed the shot. And now a bizarre drive to the basket, and a ball thrown out of bounds off the hands of Green. Michigan will take over possession. Austin Davis and David DeJulius will come in.
And just to answer the question more specifically from the timeout, Michigan right now in Charlie Cream's bracketology, the women's basketball team is projected as a 9 seed to play 8-seeded Drake in Columbia, South Carolina. That's in the, I believe that would be in the East Regional.
Gotcha.
And the week 2 will be played in Greenville, South Carolina.
So Michigan comes up with it after the turnover. Simpson with the ball now across to David DeJulius. He's on the wing. Down low, Austin Davis. He's going to back in spin move, but they say he walked. And we're going to go to the under 12 timeout. 11:51 to go in the first half. Michigan 18, Nebraska 10. You're listening to Michigan basketball on WCBN Sports.
I don't know if enough can really be said about Austin Davis' season, because quite simply it's been weird. You just from the eye test, you watch Austin Davis. Really, after a couple minutes, he's tired out there. He can really only go a few minutes at a time. But those 10 to 15 minutes he's provided have been big. He has defensive frailties still clearly present, and he has some fundamental mistakes like the travel. But when you're shooting 70% from the field and don't miss from under the basket, you're going to get to play. And Austin Davis has demonstrated that, such that they had the jersey ready for Austin Davis on Senior Day today, because they were talk that he was going to leave the way Charles Matthews left last year. Charles Matthews was a redshirt junior, still had that extra year of eligibility, but he said, nope, not coming back, and he declared for the draft. Austin Davis, for the longest time, you thought that it was going to be a situation where he was going to be honored and then he was going to grad transfer. But it doesn't look like that's happened. Juwan Howard has offered
That was confirmed yesterday.
Yep, that was confirmed yesterday. Juwan Howard has offered Austin Davis a spot on the team next year, and Davis has accepted that, which, truthfully, that's a little surprising because
They have the room. They're just going to have to pull a couple things.
Yeah,
Most likely, you would have to process Adrian Nunez, which is expected, and then make Jace Howard, the coach's son, walk on.
There will be some scholarship creativity required here for Juwan Howard, which I suppose is the closest thing a college can get to cap hell. But it's very interesting. And Davis, I don't really know how to feel about Davis taking it. First and foremost, good for him. He's definitely earned it. But that's something you ask, is that Austin Davis could have grad transferred to a MAC school. He's from Southern Michigan. He could have gone to EMU or Toledo or some of the other directional Michigans, and he could have been a great MAC level player.
Yeah.
But instead, he's opting to stay. He's almost certainly going to have a bench role, maybe a limited role with all the big man talent coming in. And if Colin Castleton ever gets it together, he'll be pushed further down. So that's something you wonder. It was something that was said once why Kyler Murray already had a baseball contract, but then declared he was going to go play in the NFL draft. As you figure this season, he just had a lot of fun.
Well, and the reality is that you look at Austin Davis and the roster next year, the fact is that who's going to start at center off the bat? I mean, by the end of the year, the hope would be that 4-star recruit Hunter Dickinson is the starting center, but that's, you don't want to have him be the starter right away. And is Austin Davis capable of doing that? Is Colin Castleton? And if it were just Castleton and Dickinson, there would be a lot of questions, whereas Davis, eases that ever so slightly.
The only thing, my counter to that would be is that Austin Davis can't play a lot of minutes.
Well, but he's someone at least who has played.
He has played, and maybe another summer at Camp Sanderson will change that, but that's something you figure. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if the starting center on day one of the next basketball season is instead Brandon Johns.
So, out of the under 12 timeout, 11:51 to go in the first half, our scores: Michigan 18, Nebraska 10 here at the final home game of the regular season for the Michigan Wolverines. 9-9 in the Big Ten Conference, number 25 in the country. Hosting the Huskers, they've got an 8-point lead, now dribbling inside to the lane, and we're going to get a foul underneath. Looks like we'll go against Wagner. He was battling up against Kevin Cross, the backup center for Nebraska. He had started to dribble into the lane, and they're going to get Wagner with the shooting foul as Cross was going up. I'm not sure that is a call that the Crisler Center partisan crowd is going to like here tonight in a pretty much capacity environment. Cross's first free throw goes down.
They didn't like it, but on replay, it was the right call. Wagner had his arms out diagonally and caught him right on the arm.
Cross's second free throw upcoming. Cross is a guy who's played a decent bit, averages just under 7 points per game, and he makes his second there. This is his first appearance of the evening, and he gets 2 points on the board with both free throws made. Michigan brings it up, leading 18-12, 11:22 to go in the first half. Livers gives it off to Wagner. Wagner back across, open three from Livers from the wing, and his shot off the mark, gets his own rebound, dribbles inside, lays it up, missed the opportunity. Davis gets the offensive rebound, and he's swatted underneath the basket, and coming away with it is Cheatham for Nebraska. He's going to dribble it inside. Now they kick it on out. Cross is going to try and dribble in the lane again underneath the basket. Now to the baseline, easily there. He threw it away, and DeJulius is going to take it away. Coming up the floor, he's got Simpson, drives inside, and now throws on the brakes. Looks like he had an open lay-in opportunity. Now they get it to Simpson, left corner. His rainbow gun does not go from long distance. And then another rebound suctioned up for Cross. Now Cheatham swings it around. Nebraska is playing some more bench guys than we saw earlier. Thorbjarnason off to Easley, and then he had it, lost it, and now Wagner takes it away. He's away with Simpson, 2-on-none, to the rack, lays it up, and puts it in, and a foul.
Hold on, I don't know if they called it on the floor. Oh, they did.
They did, yes.
At first, when Wagner took the ball, I didn't think he was going to be able to take it all the way. Easily had good position, I was worried Xavier Simpson coming alongside wide open. Wagner should have played it along the ground, but once again, Wagner getting right past Isley and drawing the foul at the very end.
Wagner's free throw is through, 21-12, Michigan on top, but they have missed 6 of their last 7 from the field. Nebraska hasn't made a field goal in 3 minutes. This game has started to slow down a little bit. Akal Urope is out there for the Huskers. Now Deshaun Burke dribbles inside, kicks it to the corner. Nice pump fake there from Thorbjarnason, and he knocks it down from the corner. That's a three-pointer for Nebraska, and it's 21-15.
Iceland's finest.
Yep. And Simpson brings it up across half court. He gets a small screen from Franz Wagner. Tried to get it inside to Austin Davis, and just got swatted away. Now a 2-on-1 up the other direction. They're going to try and get an outside shot. Burke's three-pointer is good. And Nebraska with a 21-18 lead. And Juwan Howard is going to call a timeout. Now both coaches have used a timeout. It's a 6-0 Nebraska run in the last 24 seconds, and this is only a 3-point game under 10 minutes to go.
That's a good call by Juwan Howard there to call timeout right now. You have a little bit of a swing game. Not quite fully tilting against you, but you calm your team down just in case. You probably make a couple substitutions. Brandon Johns, I think, is about to make way for somebody, but interesting to see what happens there in Nebraska. They're feeling pretty good right now just with that swing. It's amazing what a couple threes can do for you. Nebraska's team already out there very quickly. They're not calling the full media here, so that has something to do with it. But Thorbjarnason, arguably the best player in Iceland, which is very much something. Never mind that Iceland has 300,000 people and doesn't play lots of basketball, such that saying Þórir Þorbjarnarson is the best basketball player in Iceland is a bit like saying Garrett Van Wy is the best college hockey player from the state of Washington. It's true, but it might be by default.
So Juwan Howard uses his timeout there to try and stop this Nebraska 6-0 run. It's 21-18, Michigan on top, 9:40 to go in the first half between Michigan and Nebraska. Wolverines with the ball after those back-to-back threes in succession made by the Huskers. Eli Brooks wearing that Batman mask travels inside, kicks it out. Wagner's three is off the heel, and the rebound immediately pulled down there by Gervais Green. Huskers come up with it. They're 1 3-pointer away from tying this game. They were trailing by 9 just about a minute ago. Þorbjarnarson goes baseline for the Huskers, and he loses the ball off his feet and out of bounds. That'll be a turnover to Michigan, and that's now 7 turnovers for the Huskers in the first 11 minutes of this game. But they're shooting 60% from 3, and that's how they've clawed their way back into this game. Austin Davis will go off the floor, as will Franz Wagner. That'll bring Jon Teske on. And the lineup right now for Michigan, you've got DeJulius, Johns, Livers, Teske, and Brooks. Teske passes it across to DeJulius. They go into the corner to Brandon Johns. They'll find Teske at the elbow. Little pull-up jumper is good. Jon Teske knocks it down from mid-range. 23-18, Michigan on top. 9 minutes to go in the first half.
Teske's offensive game is a little idiosyncratic. He struggles at the rim. Sometimes he hits the long range, has some confidence in it, but doesn't shoot that well from there. But really that mid-range has been his most consistent weapon. In really the 3 years he's been a big contributor for the team.
He knocked it down right there. Nebraska passes it around outside. Now they go into the corner. Burke, a floater, as he pump faked his way out of a three. He had an open baseline floater there, and he missed it. Michigan gets the rebound from Brooks. He leads the fast break the other way. They slow it down on the offensive half. David DeJulius dribbles with it outside. Backup point guard with it from Detroit. Throws it across to Livers. His three-pointer from the right wing is off the mark after making his first two. Livers now 2 of 4 from three-point range. Still 23-18. Michigan on top, dribbling inside is Berg, and his floater underneath is off the mark. Another try is rejected. Urope tried to put it back up after getting an offensive rebound, swatted from behind by Teske. Michigan grabs down the defensive board, and up they come the other way. DeJulius leads the charge. Livers with the ball now. Brandon Johns with it, right wing. Across to DeJulius, gets a small screen from Teske, dribbles inside the three-point arc, now backs up. He's on Urope, throws up a floater off the mark now. It pinballs around. Michigan gets the offensive board. Now to Johns in the corner. His three-pointer's a little short, and the rebound grabbed down by Gervais Green, the junior from Denver, Colorado.
That's an example of things going in your favor more than you deserve. David DeJulius, that was a terrible floating shot, but they still got the open look at the corner, even if it didn't go down.
Michigan now shooting 2 of 8 from 3, and the Huskers knocked that one down. Cole Urope makes his first shot, or actually Kevin Cross there was one who put that one in. 23-20, Michigan on top. 7:08 to go in the first half. DeJulius to Livers. Thought about pulling up from 3. Michigan with this 3-point lead. Teske spins around, throws up a hook shot. No good. Gervais Green the rebound, and Nebraska is hanging around right now in a game they were not at all expected to be even in. And Þorbjarnarson drives to the basket, lays it up, and lays it in. Michigan has not scored in over 2 minutes now. Another 4-0 spurt from the Huskers, and it's 23-22 Michigan. This Crisler Center crowd is trying to get some life back into their team. Jon Teske passes it into the corner. Pull-up 3 from DeJulius is too strong, and Michigan is just shooting 3 after 3, and they're all pretty much open. They just can't knock them down right now. 6:22 to go in the first half. Continuous play for the last about 3 or 4 minutes. Þorbjarnarson guarded by Teske, and they just keep firing it around. Now driving inside is Urope. Back outside. Now great passing underneath. Lays it up and off the mark. Boy, Nebraska looked like they were going to get the lead right there, but it spun up halfway down and then popped out. Livers, long two, too strong, and it'll be tipped around, go out of bounds. That is off of Michigan, and we'll go to Nebraska when we come back from the under 6 media timeout.
Michigan got out of jail with that missed layup that should have given Nebraska the lead. Got very lucky there, but now Xavier Simpson going to come back into the game as well as Franz Wagner. Michigan losing control of the game a little bit with their senior point guard on the bench. And it's one of those things, it's been so frustrating to watch in the losses from a Michigan perspective, is that you can see the offense still working in the sense that it's generating a lot of open shots they're just not going in, and that's very much a situation where you value process over results. But it's a very trying thing to keep. It's a very trying thing to see throughout the course of a season. I suppose something else. Cam Mack suspended for tonight for violating team rules. Do we want to speculate as to what false name Cam Mack gave to police?
I'm not sure.
We'll have to ask. We'll have to ask Daniel Thompson about the general characteristics of the Lincoln Police Department.
Well, he's got a teammate named Deshaun Burke. Deacon Blues wouldn't be a bad fake name.
There we go.
Are you a Steely Dan person?
Not a huge Steely Dan person, but I know the joke. My biggest interaction with Steely Dan is that I learned a little bit of playing drums by just watching by watching Bernard Purdy instructional videos, and Bernard Purdy played drums for Steely Dan on Ncaa.
Well, this is a game that is a critical moment right now where, Michigan, it's just not going their way at the moment. They're not making anything on the offensive end, and this is where Juwan Howard makes the big money. Is he going to be able to, turn things around, engineer some offense?
Again, like I said, if you're Juwan Howard, you're in a tough position because, like I've said, the offense is working. The sets are working. It's generating shots. This is very much it should be a process over results situation. And you would be winning if the lead would be bigger if the finishing at the rim was a little bit better. Because the biggest issue is that Michigan doesn't really have a plan B for when the shots aren't falling. It is a jump shot focused offense. But when the jump shots aren't falling, Michigan can't make up for that with bullying teams at the rim.
5:54 to go in the first half. Michigan 23, Nebraska 22. And it'll be Nebraska basketball.
Just had a thought. What would be the absolute worst false name to give to the Lincoln Police Department?
Bo Pelini?
No, because, no, that'd be a good one. No, Maurice Washington.
Sure. So, Nebraska inbounds it in. They'll bring it on up. Gervais Green, the ball handler, to Thorbjarnarson, baseline pass. Tipped around, now picked up by Cross. Goes into the corner to Cheatham. He runs into some trouble, kicks it on out. Now it finally gets to Cross. Thought about pulling up from three instead. Just filters it around. Gervais Green with the ball outside. He stands at midcourt and calls some things out. Now he'll try and dribble around into the lane. Now back outside, Thorbjarnarson. And it's stolen there. Simpson will pick it up. He'll go down the lane, lays it up, and it's swatted there underneath the basket by Cross. Came in for a monster block, and now Nebraska comes on up with it the other way to Cheatham in the corner. Guarded face up by Wagner. Now tries to spin around baseline, and he walked.
That's one. Here, Cheatham. Good effort by Wagner to really stand him up there. Actually, I think, that was Teske to stand him up there and not let him get any farther forward. Have to have him take steps to get around and causing the walk.
Inbound pass to Simpson. Comes up across half court. Screen from Teske. Wagner stares down. Green, now he'll pull up from three, and it's off the mark. Michigan now 2 for 9 from three-point range, or it's actually going to be 2 for 10
now
when that updates. Three-pointer there from Nebraska did not hit any rim. These two teams just throwing up misses right now. Nebraska hasn't scored in over 2 minutes. Michigan hasn't scored in over 4. Brooks from the corner. He knocks it down, and Michigan finally breaks the drought. They were 0 for 7 from the field before that.
Like a lot of players on this Michigan team, Eli Brooks' shot comes and goes, but a lot of times he's fearless and doesn't hesitate to take that shot. But that was his first shot of the game. A bit more economical from the player. Maybe breaking your nose makes you rethink a few things.
We're going to get a foul on the baseline. This looks like it's going to go against Wagner again.
And that's something Wagner's had issues with all season. That's something. The way you play in Europe, it's much more reliant on the hands. It's a less physical game. You got to have quicker hands, and Wagner brings that to here. He's a little handsy. He gets in there a little too much. College basketball players, bigger, a lot better at shielding the ball and drawing the contact.
Inbound from the baseline, Kevin Cross throws it up in the air. It lands into the hands of Hanif Cheatham. Now to Thorbjarnarsson just in front of the logo. Dribbles inside the lane, now outside to Cheatham, and he had it poked out by Xavier Simpson. What a steal there. He scoops it up, dribbles down the court, Euro step, kick to the corner. Brooks from the same spot again, and he knocks it down again.
That's how you regain control of the game. You hit 2 quick threes from one player. Xavier Simpson, I suppose good practice for the hockey games this weekend, an outstanding poke check.
Yeah, that was a really nice play from Simpson. Now dribbling inside, right to the free throw line is Burke. Now he puts on the brakes to Cross, and he threw it away. Simpson gets another takeaway, brings it on up the floor. He'll kick it out. Brooks again almost lost it. Bad pass. Now finds Livers from the corner, and that one's just a tad short.
That would have been 3 straight threes from exactly the same spot.
Yep, tried it again, and just couldn't get that one to go. Now outside, Cross pump fakes around Livers into the lane, throws it up, off the window, no. Tipped around and off Nebraska to Michigan.
Both teams
3:15 to go.
Both teams having some dreadful rim luck. That's like the second or third that Nebraska's had painfully roll out. Should have gone down. In Michigan, it's a similar story on the other end. But right there you see process over results. Now you see the results. Eli Brooks, 2 quick threes from the corner going in. Livers could have had another one. Much more. Michigan shoot 3-point percentage up to 31%. Pink Floyd released the wall in 1979.
Yep. I was just about to say that on this. What year was it?
It's 1979. I can do this.
We're in agreement that Dark Side of the Moon is better than The Wall, right?
Huh.
What's your take?
My take is that The Wall is probably a better done album.
Ooh.
But I will say I'd say just in terms of song quality, I'd say there are a lot of songs on The Wall that are on. Wait, hang on, sorry. Your take is that The Wall is better than Dark Side of the Moon?
No, my take is that Dark Side of the Moon is better than The Wall.
Oh, sorry. I thought you had it flipped around. I am very pro Dark Side of the Moon.
Okay, good. We're on the same page here.
Yeah. I will say the Wizard of Oz thing, extremely overrated.
Are you a Wizard of Oz fan?
Yes, I tried the Wizard of Oz Dark Side of the Moon thing. It is not a thing. Not a thing. Because I like Dark Side of the Moon. When you asked that, I thought you said it the other way. I was thinking like, okay, what does The Wall have going for it that Dark Side of the Moon doesn't? The Wall is a much more developed story. The problem is it's also stupid long.
Yes.
Like it's similar to comparing Who's Next and the album before it and the album after it.
Okay, Who's Next is the best Who album.
Exactly.
There's no question. That's not even
like Tommy and Quadrophenia are more sophisticated, but Who's Next is the better album.
Yeah. We now have...
Part of that is I'm just not a huge concept album fan.
That's fair. .3:15 to go in the first half. Michigan 29, Nebraska 22.
Dalton wants us to talk about Blue Oyster Cult.
Is Dalton a cowbell guy?
That is... Oh, hey, John Beeline's here.
Oh, wow. Look at that. John Beeline is on the Jumbotron.
Wait, where is he? That's in one of those boxes. Is he up there? No, that... Now I'm trying to find him.
Yeah, he's right there, I think. Right below that Nissan thing. Is that the camera?
Okay. I see him. I see him. At least I think I do.
It's that camera guy standing right over him.
Get out of my way. But you have to figure, John Beeline is probably so happy right now that he doesn't have to coach the Cavs anymore.
And he got a lot of money just to get fired.
He got a lot of money just to get fired. I mean, here's the thing. I feel like that's a cynical way to look at things, and I feel like a lot of coaches are that cynical, but I do feel bad for Beeline just because how horribly that went.
So out of the timeout, Michigan, quick three-point opportunity for Brooks. Strong off the heel, and Nebraska pulls it down. That's a rope that gets it. And now up they come. Michigan missing an opportunity there, 29-22. That one whacked out of the hands of Bjarnason, and it'll go out of bounds on the baseline. Again, that's now 12 turnovers for Nebraska. 2:54 to go in the first half, and Nebraska's just hemorrhaging the basketball, and that's made up for Michigan's lack of three-point shooting compared to Nebraska's strong shooting. Simpson is bumped right there by Udrago.
Hang on. The strong shooting is relative. Nebraska's shooting 50% from three, but that's 3 for 6. It's not like they're taking a lot of shots. Michigan's 4 for 14, and the misses are really hurting them. Michigan has a ton more shots than Nebraska, 33 to 23. They're shooting about the same percentage, though.
Inbound to Livers, and that 2 is off the mark, and Isaiah Livers, after starting 2 for 2, just can't buy a shot right now. He's missed his last 7, including 3 three-pointers. Cheatham drives towards the baseline. Now over to Udrago. In tight, and Teske, great defense there in the post, and forces a miss. Brandon Johns the rebound. Simpson comes up with it. 2:20 to go in the first half. Michigan still leads by 7, trying to build this advantage up. Now to Livers. He's going to go between 2 Huskers to the rack, and he missed it again. An easy look in tight, and he put it too strong off the window. And up they come the other direction. Deshaun Burke leads the charge. Bjarnason guarded by Johns. That was on the right wing side, and now Simpson's going to pick up a ticky-tack foul on a reach-in.
That's the wrong call. I thought he got the hand on the ball, but Nebraska 12 turnovers to Michigan's 3.
They inbound it to Udrago, now over to Burke. He goes right around Simpson. Underneath, reverse lay-in is no good. Boy, he got everything right there, just didn't hit the shot. Would have been a highlight reel play, especially to blow by Simpson. And now we're going to have a over-the-back foul on Nebraska with Johns going for the rebound.
You know, the thing that slipped under the radar there with those 2 quick fouls, this game has been relatively clean. Nebraska's committed 5 fouls, Michigan's 4. Neither team looks like they're going to get into the bonus in this half.
Down to 105 seconds remaining in the first half. Brooks dribbles baseline. Simpson corner outside. Livers on the wing. He passed up an open 3. Now over to Brandon Johns on the right wing side to Teske on the low post. He'll kick it out to Simpson and threw it away. Now a 2-on-1 for the Huskers the other way across to Cheatham. He lays it up and lays it in.
That's a good play by Simpson there. The instinct there is to try and go up, but if Simpson goes up there, he's just going to draw a foul. Probably gets the and one.
Yeah.
That's one where you just concede and let him go by you.
Simpson with the ball, 29-24. Michigan on top, 1:10 remaining. Over to Teske. Jumper, no good. And Michigan is getting a lot of open looks, just not making any of them. Bjarnason down the floor. Urup lays it up and lays it in. And now it's 29-26, a minute to go. This crowd getting restless. It had been a 6-0 Michigan run, but you look at the Wolverines right now, 0 of their last 5 from the field, 2 of their last 14 have not scored in 3 minutes. And Simpson threw it off somebody. It's loose. And Michigan picks it back up. Now 42 seconds remaining. They got 10 on the shot clock. Dribbling around with it outside, underneath to the corner. Johns, open 3. He knocks it down. Michigan gets a 3-pointer there. Now they lead 32-26, guaranteed to take a lead into halftime because Nebraska's just going to hold it to the final shot. Shot clock turned off, 24 seconds remaining.
Brandon Johns is a little peculiar in terms of his positioning in the offense. He's an unlikely 3-point shooter. He sometimes will throw it out from the corner like he did just there, but he will position himself in the corner when he's not really a threat to shoot from there.
Burke dribbles around a couple Wolverines to the rack, lays it up, no, but he's going to draw a foul. They'll have 2 foul shots with 5.1 to go in the first half. They're going to get the foul on Livers. That's his first. Simpson has 1, Teske has 1, Livers has 1. Team has 5 overall. Nobody in foul trouble as we go into the halftime break. Burke at the free throw line. Dribbles the ball twice, and he makes the first.
Now, teams don't do interesting things like this, so just humor me for a second here. If you're Nebraska, why doesn't Burke just throw it off the backboard and try and play for the offensive board? You have 5 seconds left. Try and get a 3.
Well, it has to hit the rim. And that second one rims around and down. Michigan will get 1 shot off
See, now Michigan has 5 seconds to go and make something happen. Isaiah Livers has the arm of a quarterback.
Livers does have a rather prodigious arm, and he's winding it up, fires it over to Simpson. 5 seconds remaining, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and he draws a foul. Nebraska has plenty of fouls to give, so 2.3 seconds remaining in the first half. They commit the foul, but now Michigan has a inbound from the offensive side of the court, and they can simply inbound it in, run a play, and get a quick catch-and-shoot look.
See what I mean? Michigan's got 2 seconds, can now get set, take a shot. It probably doesn't go in because of the shooting, but...
Livers will do the inbounding again over to Simpson. 2 seconds to Brooks. His two-pointer missed the mark. Just a little wide, and that'll do it. We will go to halftime. Our score, Michigan 32, Nebraska 28, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes with the second half. Welcome back now to the second half of action between Michigan and Nebraska here at Crisler Center, where the Michigan Wolverines have a 32-28 lead at halftime, but in a game they were favored in by 17 points, a very choppy first half.
Well, there's good and then there's bad. The good from the Michigan perspective is that they are creating a lot of open shots. They're stealing the ball from Nebraska at will, and the flow of the offense seems to be working really well. The problem is the shots aren't going in. They're shooting 34% from the field, 33% from three-point land. They haven't been able to draw fouls. They've only attempted one free throw. Granted, they made it, and they are losing the rebound battle to Nebraska.
Yeah, Michigan, you look at that first half, 34% from the field, 13 of 38, 5 of 15 from three, and they only attempted one free throw, being out-rebounded 24-18. Michigan's put up 11 more shots than the Huskers, but you look at Nebraska, 3 of 6 from three for 50%, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 83% there. Nebraska has not been perfect. They've committed a lot of turnovers, but they've been scrappy, and Michigan has missed some shots.
Indeed, Nebraska, 10 for 27 from the field, 37% from the field, only marginally better than Michigan. They're doing it in a much more efficient manner, 3 for 6 from beyond the arc. Michigan has more threes than Nebraska, 5 to 3, but they've taken 9 more shots to do it, 15 to 6.
And so the final about 10 seconds or so tick down here before the second half will begin. Michigan will have the ball. They lost the opening tip-off, and there were no held balls in that first half. Holding a 4-point lead and a fresh 20 minutes on the clock. Here we go.
And once again, if you're Nebraska right now, you feel just fine. You're not going to make the tournament unless you win the Big Ten tournament, which is...
That would be quite a revelation.
That would be quite a thing, especially considering Nebraska is going to have to play on Wednesday, as I believe they are, though they are already locked in as the bottom seed in the Big Ten. But you see Michigan there having to take an extra time to talk to their team. Nebraska right now is playing like they have nothing to lose, and they don't have anything to lose.
So Michigan begins the second half with a 32-28 lead over Nebraska. Michigan at number 25 in the country, 9-9 in conference play. Nebraska at the bare bottom of the conference, 2-16 in Big Ten play. But this is a tight first half, and Michigan's going to need to play better. They start with their starting lineup on the floor: Livers, Simpson, Teske, Wagner, and Brooks. And the German freshman Franz Wagner gets the inbound pass, hands it off to his point guard and senior Xavier Simpson. Now great passing inside and a jam from Isaiah Livers. Simpson over to Teske, who found a cutting Livers to the basket, and he threw it down. 34-28, Michigan on top, 19:40 to go in the second half.
That's an emphatic way to start.
Indeed. And we're going to have a travel immediately on the power forward for Nebraska, Thorjarbinson.
And these first possessions by each team couldn't have gone any better for Michigan. When I saw Livers falling away from the basket, I thought he wasn't going to be able to hit the dunk, but got the arm down in time. And then the travel, that's Nebraska's 13th turnover.
Yep, Nebraska very turnover-plagued in that first half. Michigan passes it around on the outside. Nebraska is playing a zone right now. You're going to let Michigan shoot over it with how poorly Michigan shot in the first half. Livers gets it down low, and a fadeaway jumper is good. Knocks it down, 36-28. Michigan, quick 4-0 spurt in the first minute to begin the second half. Nebraska comes up with it. Cheatham across, and now another travel on Nebraska. That one's going to go on Ivan Wudroago. The 17-year-old center got the pass from Cheatham right at the free throw line, tried to drive in on Teske, and he just got too antsy with the feet. So back-to-back turnovers to start the second half for Nebraska. They're now up to 14 on the game. 14 turnovers for the Huskers to just 4 for Michigan. Eli Brooks drives baseline. Looks like he got bumped from behind. We'll see who the foul goes on Nebraska. But the Huskers, very rough coming out of this halftime break. Michigan looks a lot better. And they're going to get the point guard, Charlie Easley, on the foul there. Reach in from behind as Brooks was trying to blow by him. Easley, a guy who doesn't play a whole lot, but he's playing because of suspension to starting point guard Cam Mack, announced just about an hour publicly before the game. I have to assume the players knew, but that's another way Nebraska, already the worst team in the Big Ten's, playing short-handed. Teske out to Simpson. His three-pointer from just outside the arc goes halfway down and then pops out. This partisan Crisler Center crowd at capacity here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, thought they had a three-pointer there, and now a baseline drive is good. Deshaun Burke lays it in off the glass. and then jumps in on the inbound pass but knocks it out of bounds. Michigan will get another inbound try. 36-30 the score, 18:25 to go in the second half.
And that was bizarre. Livers was hunched over like something was wrong. He just didn't see the streaking inbound man as the other players went down the court too early.
Nebraska going with sort of a full court press of sorts, trying to create some pressure on Michigan. Wolverines do manage to get it up. This time the inbound went into Brooks, then over to Simpson. And the floor general, senior from Lima, Ohio, dribbles inside. Handoff to Teske is taken away, and now bringing it up the other way is Cheatham to the rack, and he's blocked there by Isaiah Livers. Now Michigan's got numbers the other way. Wagner running the court into the paint, kicks it. Simpson, corner three is good. The rainbow gun from the left corner. Xavier Simpson, senior point guard, knocks it down. He's got 5, now 2 of 8 from the field. First three-pointer made tonight. In addition to his 5 assists, put Michigan up 39-30, 17:45 to go. Deshaun Burke gets around a screen into the lane, throws on the brakes. Michigan's done a good job repelling drives. Nebraska's made some shots outside. Udrago with it on the low block, backing in on Livers, and he walked again. Second travel on Udrago, the freshman from Bordeaux, France. And he's got a lot of potential, but just 17 years old, and as we can see here in this early second half, he's got a long way to come.
I will admit I didn't really see the travel, but it's 15 turnovers on the game for Nebraska, and the case for feeling fine despite the rough shooting for Michigan is that you still saw it on that shot from the corner that Simpson made. There's still a lot of rhythm in the offense right now. They're not letting Nebraska's defense clog it down.
And they quickly go inside to Teske, who puts it up and puts it in with a foul called. That's going to make it 41-30. Michigan with a free throw upcoming for the senior centerman. Michigan brought it up, immediately went to Teske. 2 Huskers were bearing down on him, and he turned to his right, and a right-handed hook from just inside the free throw stripe put it in. Teske now up to 10 points on the game. He's got a free throw upcoming. John Teske, 7'1", 285 pounds. His free throw rattles around and goes down. 42-20 Michigan, or sorry, 42-30 Michigan. 17-12 to go in the second half, and the Wolverines put a little pressure on, create a turnover. Wagner takes it away and draws a foul immediately from Thorbjarnarson. Michigan got their hands in the lane, and you see that lanky extension from 6'9" Franz Wagner creating a turnover, was trying to free Simpson for an easy lay-in, but before he could get the pass away, got whacked there by the Icelandic power forward, and Michigan now gets another offensive possession after immediately having a three-point play. They're on a 6-0 run over the last 51 seconds, and a chance to do more with a 12-point lead. This is their largest lead of the game. They find Wagner on the wing to Livers inside the zone. Simpson had it and lost it, taken away there by Burke. He's down the other way, and Burke jams it at the other end. Nebraska finally forces a turnover and gets some points on it, as Xavier Simpson, normally so sure-handed at the point guard position, loses control there. 16:40 to go, 42-32 Wolverines. Livers across to Simpson, corner Wagner. Had an open three, passed it up. Now backing down. He's at the right elbow there. Now a hand in the lane, kicks it out. Simpson thought about going up with the three. Now he's going to dribble inside. Underhand scoop off the window and good.
And when you see Michigan move to score, it's a lot faster now. In the first half, it's very meandering.
And there's a three-pointer from Burke that runs short. Teske the rebound. Michigan's got the ball again. Eli Brooks. You can just see the energy that Michigan is playing with right now. They've got a 12-point lead. Brooks crossover inside, lays it up and lays it in, and Michigan is just pouring it on right now. A 14-point lead after leading by just 4 at the half, and Fred Hoiberg is trying to call a timeout. Finally, he gets one there, and we will go to the under-16 timeout.
They heard you mention the spread. Juwan Howard heard you mention the spread.
Yeah, Michigan favored by 17 points in this game. Now they finally lead by 14. They've made 4 of their last 4 from the field, and with 15:52 to go to the second half, we will hit a commercial timeout. You're listening to Michigan basketball on WCBN Sports.
And that's how you start a half. You watch Michigan's offense, it looks so much crisper that never mind that the shots are starting to fall. They're starting to finish at the rim. You saw Teske with the three-point play, Simpson and Brooks on drives. There's a lot more confidence in the way that they're moving towards the rim. When, for most of Michigan's season, any shot attempts at the rim have Michigan's approached that and taken it like they're just settling. But instead now you have Simpson and Brooks charging straight at the rim, there's a lot more confidence in their attacking of in going after the glass. You see even Teske putting a couple down that he usually doesn't. And then on the women's side of things down in Indianapolis, Nebraska was up 8 on Michigan at halftime. Michigan's cut that lead to 4. The score 44-40 now in favor of the Huskers. Naz Hillman, 16 points so far for Michigan. Amy Dilk has 10. And I suppose I should mention Naz Hillman has 16 points in 13 minutes. With now that layup that put Hillman to 16 has now cut Nebraska's lead to 2, as the last 5 minutes been very kind to Michigan basketball.
And a reminder, if you're watching this broadcast on our YouTube channel and WCBN Sports on YouTube, you can go over to our channel and you can find another broadcast going on right now. Michigan softball against Cal State Fullerton. That just got underway in Los Angeles, California. Charlie Brigham and Zach Corson are out there covering that game. So go pay it a listen. You can listen to both games at the same time. Be a little bit cluttered, but you could.
You could. What I would say is just listen to the end of this one because we're cool and fun, and then switch over to Michigan softball.
And they actually will have 2 games tonight after the Cal State Fullerton game ends. Michigan will be playing number 1 UCLA. That game tentative to start around 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. So get a watch out for that.
Michigan just making the rounds for the big-name California schools in the bat and ball sports. Michigan baseball 2 nights ago had a rough loss to Stanford. Then they followed it up with a 5-0 blanking of Cal last night.
So out of Fred Hoiberg's timeout, 15:52 to go here in the second half. Michigan's expanded their lead up to 46-32 over Nebraska. Charlie Easley, the point guard from Lincoln, Nebraska, inbounds it in. And they've now inserted Gervais Green, number 23, onto the floor. Made a lot of changes. Kevin Cross back out there as the backup centerman. Easley's in the corner. Cheatham's with the ball. He dribbles inside the lane. Tried to draw contact. No whistle comes. That one way off the mark. And Wagner pulls it down for Michigan. Simpson comes up quickly with it. Gets the screen from Teske. He dribbles down to the right baseline. Now outside Wagner across to Brooks. Mishandled the pass. Couldn't get a shot away. Instead, he'll get it over to Livers. Isaiah Livers dribbles up towards the logo. Now he'll go quick crossover, try to get it inside to Teske. Getting contact, lays it up. No, his tip-in is good, but they're going to wave off the basket, I believe. And so the referees are going to have to confer about how that one's going to get marked up. And we will go to immediately another commercial timeout. 15:14 to go in the second half. And we will be back in a moment with more action. But for now, we just sit here and talk.
It looks like they've waved off the basket. It will be a foul on the floor. Teske going to get the missed layup as well as the offensive rebound, and that one's going to be on Cross. Again, well, actually, Nebraska's gotten in foul trouble early. They've got 4 fouls within the first 5 minutes of the second half. Figure Michigan much more likely to get into the bonus in this half.
You would think so. Now I've got the Myers shootout going down on the court. They had, this guy's doing really poorly. 15 seconds gone. He hasn't even made the free throw yet. Most of these aren't even touching the rim.
The free throw is tougher than people think.
Oh, boy. This guy's terrible.
He's short-arming all of them. They let him take the 3 anyway, and that one almost went in.
Wow. He got, probably, 12 chances at the free throw, and 6 were air balls?
I still remember the Maryland game from 2 years ago, 17-18. The Meyer shooting challenge was the shooter made the layup on his first try and then spent the last 30 seconds trying to get the free throw when he never got it. You know who it was? It was a ghost of WCBN past.
No.
Alec Geese.
Yeah, that's right. It's a very specific memory from that game. It had a lot of other memories.
That was the only Michigan basketball game that season that I was at.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did not own season tickets as a sophomore. I built on it as a student. As a freshman, I only got football tickets. As a sophomore, I just got football and hockey. And then junior year, I got all 3. So built to it. So that was the only game I went to. My first 2 years I went to one Michigan basketball game. Both of them were comeback victories. 16-17 it was Penn State, and then in 17-18 it was Maryland. The comeback and the Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman free throws.
Yep. One of the most memorably poorly played situations that I can think of, where they don't guard the inbounder, and then Michigan throws it into Rahman, and instead of guarding him, they just tackle him.
Yep. And then I had Domino's after the game and really liked it.
I have no comment on that.
I also lived in Alice Lloyd at the time.
You did?
I did.
Oh, I didn't know you lived in Lloyd.
JP was not my
Where
RA.
did you live freshman year?
I lived in Bursley my freshman year.
Oh.
Which is severely underrated, by the way.
What's the case for that?
The case for that is that it's quiet.
Okay.
And somebody once pointed it out to me when I was freshman. It was the reason why he moved back into Bursley as a sophomore. In the event of nuclear holocaust, Bursley is built like a fort. If society just completely degrades, Bursley is the best place to be because of the isolation and the sturdy construction of the building.
So out of those back-to-back timeouts, John Teske finally gets his free throws, and he knocks the first one down. We had a team timeout by Nebraska called by Hoiberg. Then 40 seconds later, we had a commercial timeout that was regularly scheduled for the under-16. Teske misses that one. Michigan leads 47-32, 15 minutes to go in the second half, even as the Huskers come up with it. They've been outscored 15-4 here in this second half, and now they trail by 15 points, trying to claw their way back in it. Deshaun Burke over to Udrago. Now back to him, dribbles inside the key, and he'll throw it back out towards Cheatham. He's got a height advantage over Simpson. Now he switches on to Brooks, runs into trouble, throws it back out. Grabbed by Green there. He has to pull up from way downtown, and he leaves that one wide of the rim. Simpson the rebound. Up comes Michigan. 14:40 to go. Livers for three. He knocks it down. Isaiah Livers, 4 for 12 from the field prior to that. Pretty cold on the evening after making his first 2 threes. Knocks one down there. The poor shooting of Michigan in the first half. The reason this game was a 4-point game at halftime, despite a very poor Nebraska team and a pretty good Michigan team. But now it's an 18-point Wolverine lead as Nebraska has that ball go out of bounds. It goes off of Michigan. Will stay with Nebraska, but it's currently an 8-0 run for Michigan over the last 2 minutes, 14-2 run over the last 3:38, and a 50-32 Michigan edge. 14:19 to go in the half. This one baseline. Cheatham throws it up, pops up into the air, and then falls down. Hanif Cheatham gets that one to go. Nebraska finally snaps the skid, but they need to play better defense. Michigan's made 5 of their last 6 from the field. 16-point game, 50-34 Wolverines. Simpson out to Teske, open for 3. Leaves that one too strong. Tipped around underneath. Put back is good by Livers, and a foul.
Now before that, yes, Isaiah Livers was 5 for 13 from the field, but he was 3 for 6 from deep. Livers' misses have mostly been on fadeaways from inside the arc.
Yeah.
But now they're gonna count him for the miss and the offensive board. Or actually, I think they're going to give him 2 offensive boards.
Yep, because he got one put back, no, then the second one goes in. His free throw for the 3-point play rattles around and goes down. Michigan now leads 53-34 after that 3-point play, and they go to a full-court press trying to force more turnovers from a turnover-ridden Nebraska squad that's committed 16 in this game thus far. 53-34 Michigan, 13:50 to go in the contest. Nebraska suddenly has fallen in a massive hole. Driving baseline there, kicking it to the corner. Cheatham got Livers to fall down, didn't recognize it. Burke from the corner, and he puts it through. 3-pointer there from Deshaun Burke, and that's big. 14 points now, leading scorer in this game for Nebraska. But quickly up the floor, Franz Wagner gets a long stretch pass from Simpson, drives baseline, lays it up, and lays it in. 55-37 now, Wolverines on top, 13:30 to go. Burke dribbles inside to Cheatham, pump fake around Simpson. Now he tries to swat it, and he's going to get called for a foul.
And all the Michigan players starting to chip in now. Simpson, 7 points, 7 assists. Livers, 16 points, 8 rebounds. Wagner, 9 points. Brooks, 8 points. Teske, 12 points, 6 rebounds.
A team effort right now, and the sounds you hear in the background from this capacity Crisler Center crowd in Ann Arbor, they thought Simpson got a clean block there. It is a shooting foul, and the first free throw goes down for Cheatham.
Well, these fans have learned a very clear lesson from their lives as Michigan basketball fans. When Michigan point guards block shots, they get called for fouls.
course, a nod to Trey Burke's infamous foul that was many Michigan fans think should have been a block in the 2013 national title game. Cheatham makes the second. He goes 2 for 2 at the line, 55-39 now.
A foul.
That is what most people would say, but it stands, and Louisville won the national title that year.
Most people are well, no, did they though? The national title got vacated.
It's got vacated. There you go.
But yes,
Simpson dribbles inside. Alley-oop to Austin Davis, and he throws it down. 13:05 to go in the second half, and Michigan back up by 18, 57-39.
I'm going to tell you a truth. I didn't know Austin Davis could dunk.
And Green throws it up. No, he's dunked a couple times. Wagner pulls it down up to Simpson. Simpson runs the floor, throws it out. Franz for three. Leaves that one just a little short, and Davis gets a bit antsy. Bats that ball out of bounds. They're actually going to call an over the back on him.
That's an over the back one. Davis goes for that. That's the play you make if you're a big man. You just try and put your hand on it and tip it back out to somebody on the backcourt. But unfortunately, Davis a little too close.
And the Huskers get the inbound pass. They bring it on up, and it's stripped there, loose on the floor. DeJulius tries to tie it up. Simpson will, and the possession arrow belongs to Nebraska. 12:33 to go in the second half. Huskers trailing by 18. Michigan out shooting Nebraska in percentage, 43% to 39%. Cheatham gets ready to inbound it. He throws it into Udrago. Across to Green. Green crosses over to Julius, drives inside, throws it up, no, but Urop gets the rebound outside to Burke. Crossover trying to get around to Julius. He'll settle for a long fadeaway two that's off the mark. Davis grabs the rebound, hands it off to Simpson. He's going to try to run coast to coast, but gets shut off. 12:10 to go in the second half. He's trying to get around his man Green. Underneath, lays it up. No, but they're going to call a shooting foul, and he'll get 2 free throws.
That was outstanding defense by Green, fighting off that screen from Davis. Simpson, unfortunately, got right past him at the very end, but great effort by Green.
And so now Simpson will get an opportunity to shoot 2 free throws. His free throw shooting has become a bit maligned recently due to some crucial misses against Wisconsin and Illinois at home, and that one rattles around and goes down. 58-39 Michigan. The second one will try to stretch it to 20. Xavier Simpson, senior point guard for the Wolverines. And the second one is way off the mark, tipped around and out of bounds, ball to Nebraska. Looks like it went off of Davis. 12:03 to go in the second half. Into Thorbjarnarson. Michigan continues to apply this pressure. Huskers dribble it up, trailing by 19. Wagner pursues, gets it across to Urop. He's going to try and dribble inside. Now kicks it back out to Green. Cheatham looks at Davis. And now to Green. He's going to try to get around to Julius. Nice pass inside, and instead it was stolen by Simpson. He brings it on up in the lane, throws it across, taken away the other way. Cheatham throws it up now to Green, and he'll lay it in for the easy basket. 11:30 to go, and 58-41 the score.
That's one where Michigan's aggression looked like it was going to immediately benefit them, and then they came back to bite them. Bad decision by Xavier Simpson, the attempted pass, conceding the turnover, giving Nebraska the easy layup that Michigan thought they had when Simpson stole it from Udrago.
DeJulius fadeaway jumper is no good. Davis banging away underneath for the offensive rebound. Can't procure it, though, and Cheatham brings it up to Thorbjarnarson, trying to spin around Davis. Offhanded floater is good. That one banks off the backboard. And now Nebraska's trimmed it back, a little 4-0 run. 15-point game now, 58-43 Michigan on top. Simpson gets some screens, and they try to throw it inside. Another turnover on Xavier Simpson, picked off by Cheatham. He's going to throw it around to Thorbjarnarson, lays it up and lays it in. Juwan Howard's going to call a timeout.
Okay, so Nebraska wants to cover. And this is another one. Juwan Howard calling the timeout. Nebraska, another 6-0 run in under a minute. Now 3 for their last 3. Michigan hasn't scored in a little bit.
And that's 5 turnovers on Xavier Simpson.
Yes. Nebraska has 17 on the game so far. Michigan's got 17 points off those turnovers. The rebound battle's evened out a little bit. Nebraska's got a 29-27 lead in that still. Both teams' shooting percentages have gone up this half, too. Michigan's up to 43%. Nebraska's up to 41%. Michigan's got their three-point shooting up to a good level, 35%. Nebraska's still at 44%, but they haven't taken a whole lot of shots. As Caris LeVert scored 50-plus 2 nights ago. They're showing that now. Caris LeVert, very talented Michigan player. Perhaps one of the most talented ever to come through during the John Beilein era, but unfortunately,
probably the best NBA player of the Beilein era.
Now, absolutely, but the injuries at Michigan kind of impeded him.
Yeah.
As meanwhile, Duncan Robinson is making all of the three-point shots in Miami.
He was 9 for 12 last night. Did I read that?
Something stupid like that, but that was something. Robinson turned himself into a good player. That's a very good thing to see. Before LeVert's emergence last year, I would have told you the best NBA player of the Beilein era was Tim Hardaway. He's Tim Hardaway Jr., and he still had a good career in the NBA with the Knicks, the Hawks, and the Mavericks. As the flying T-shirts are back.
Have you been in any games where people on the call caught them?
Sorry?
Have you been in the call of any games where people caught T-shirts up here?
No.
I was able to catch one back against Penn State. And Jack Molino caught one last year against Air Force, I want to say.
Are they good quality T-shirts?
I mean, they're huge, so.
Oh, okay.
They don't do much for me.
Well, you could just wear a belt to be a decent tunic. I will always defend large T-shirts because I still have my Triple XL Bob Seger Tour T-shirt just because they didn't have any X or double XL, and that was a time when I bought everything a size up.
What's your top Bob Seger song?
Top Bob Seger song? Oh. First impulse is to say Main Street.
Oh.
That would be the best one from. It's either that or Night Moves from Prime Bob Seger. But I really love some of Bob Seger's stuff from the late 80s, early 90s. I love Like a Rock. I love The Fire Inside.
Those are both good songs. My pick is Turn the Page, so.
Sorry?
My pick is Turn the Page.
That's fair. You know what? Turn the Page is maybe the one song that Metallica has covered that I listen to the cover version and I go, that isn't all that great, actually.
Yeah, it's not as terrific. So Michigan now with the ball. As we resume play, we'll probably have another timeout as soon as the next foul comes, and there's a foul right there. This should be the under 12 timeout, you'd think. At least that's how they did it earlier. We don't see any indication we're going to a commercial timeout yet. So
I will say when I saw Bob Seger, that was at the Palace, the last show at the Palace, was that the best song that was performed live was oh, come on, I've forgotten the title. For the love of God, Against the Wind. Sorry.
Against the Wind is a great song.
It's
That's top 5 for me.
It is, and it's also one of the few that he didn't have to pitch correct.
Yeah.
Because Fire Inside had to be pitch corrected, Main Street had to be pitch corrected, Roll Me Away had to be pitch corrected, Night Moves had to be pitch corrected.
And now the shot is off the mark by Nebraska. Rebound pulled down by the Wolverines. DeJulius brings it up. Julius gets a small screen from Austin Davis. Over to Franz Wagner. To Eli Brooks, pump fake. Inside, Davis backing in, spin move, lays it up, no, but he gets a foul. 9:45 to go here in the contest.
And Davis has been on such a roll for the last month. I'm surprised he wasn't able to get through that net. Now, they always take the foul, but that's one that he's oftentimes gone right past. That's a good defensive stand by Ouedraogo.
Davis, first free throw is no good.
And if you're Udrago, you look at that and go, I made the right decision, because you've prevented one basket, because at this point, with Davis' shooting clip, if he's able to get that one up uninhibited, that's going in.
Yeah. Davis bends the knees, and he delivers the second one, so he goes 1 for 2 at the line. 60-45, Michigan on top. 9:45 to go in the game. Wolverines with a 15-point lead. They led by just 4 at the half over a lowly Nebraska squad. Cheatham drives inside, draws a foul, and this game is starting to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, the fouls starting to add up. Michigan now comfortably in the bonus. Nebraska's at 8 fouls. Michigan still got fouls to give.
Anif Cheatham. And his first free throw is off the mark.
And a slight update, 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter in Indianapolis. Michigan has regained the lead against Nebraska. They're up 7, 62-55.
Cheatham's second one rattles around and down. Wagner inbounds it to David DeJulius. DeJulius comes up with it, 9:25 to go in the game. Brandon Johns out there calling for the rock. Instead it goes to Wagner, to Austin Davis. Davis getting a little antsy with the feet. Screen from DeJulius. Dribbles back outside. Now steps inside the three-point arc. Fade away, no good. And the rebound by Cheatham. He dribbles through the lane, now throws it back out. Thorbjarnarson for 3. That one a little short, and a nice skilled rebound there from David DeJulius. DeJulius over to Wagner, and a foul is committed. Bumped there by Easley, it looked like.
And that is Easley's, it's either his third foul or his fourth, but David DeJulius is an interesting player to watch. He's been an interesting player to watch all season, and he'll be interesting to watch this season because, barring something really weird, he's going to be the starting point guard for this team next year. And a lot of times he gets looked at as a contrast to Simpson. DeJulius is the more willing shooter, and when his shot's on, he's the better shooter. He is a little streakier than his counterpart, though. But DeJulius, it's something you watch going up for that rebound. That's one that you look at and you think he can really take the mantle as the starting point guard, and all of that entails, because Xavier Simpson really is a point guard that can do just about anything.
1 and 1 here at the line. Wagner makes the first. His second one goes through as well. He goes 2 for 2 at the stripe. Michigan bumps their lead back up to 62-46. Just under 9 minutes to play. Wagner goes out. Simpson comes on. He's out there now in a 2-guard lineup with DeJulius. Then Davis, Johns, and Livers are the forwards. Dribbling inside. Oh, and a big block there by Brandon Johns. Picked up by Isaiah Livers. Going to the rack. Lays it up and lays it in. Looked like he wanted to get a foul from behind. Didn't get the call. They get it up to Thorbjarnarson as Michigan leads by 18. 8:30 to go. Cheatham across to Thorbjarnarson. Gets it back. And he's just playing catch with Cross, and he dribbles inside, runs over to Julius. They're going to call a block on the Michigan point guard.
The Crisler crowd doesn't like that. They think it should be a charge, but that is the right call. DeJulius, not in front of him, didn't have his feet set, stuck off to the side, and went down. That is a defensive foul.
And they try and throw it into Cheatham. Backing in on DeJulius, puts it up, and he puts it in. Good strength there over the shorter point guard. Cheatham had a height advantage there, and he trims it to 64-48, 8:05 to go. Simpson to Davis, to DeJulius, Johns, Simpson. Under 8 minutes to go. Simpson's got DeJulius in the corner, didn't see him. Going to try and dribble inside. Kick to Johns. His three-pointer did not get any rim, but it bounces around perfectly to David DeJulius. Now inside Austin Davis backing in, and a hook shot wildly off the mark. John Teske going to get ready to come back in this game with 7:35 to go. Cheatham gets the screen, flips it around. Cross passes up, an opportunity to Green. Cross Height advantage over to Julius. Double team comes with Davis. He's in trouble. Just going to throw it outside. Cheatham goes around. Livers kicked to Thorbjarnarson. Contested three from the corner off the backboard, and he gets his own rebound and lays it in.
That's a great follow by Thorbjarnarson. He hits it off the side of the backboard, bounces right, and he's able to chase his own rebound to get the finish in.
Simpson with the ball, 7 minutes even.
Showing the tenacity of a true Viking there.
14-point lead, throws it up to Davis for the jam.
That's a great heads-up play for Austin Davis and Xavier Simpson. Simpson able to see it. That is the amount. That's the vision that's required for a point guard in Juwan Howard's in the set Juwan Howard's been trying to run.
As Green goes to the floor and loses the ball, Livers picks it up, runs down the floor, off the mark, no, but the tip in from Austin Davis, and a timeout, I think by Fred Hoiberg. 6:30 to go, and it's 68-50, Michigan on top.
Now, I would expect you to be way too sophisticated to laugh at people falling down.
Do you think I'm sophisticated?
Yeah, I guess. As a slight update from Indianapolis, Michigan still a 7-point lead, 66-59. Amy Dilk has 20 points. I can think of one person in Bloomfield, Michigan who is extremely excited at that. Oh, now it's up to 10. Three-pointer by Haley Brown as Michigan now in great position to win that game and move on to fight another day. But now on the Michigan side, Austin Davis has had a couple. Austin Davis has had a good presence. He's drawn one foul. He's had some issues finishing at the rim with the defense against him, but he's had some great finishes up there, and that's it goes to show even at a player Austin Davis's age, you can still mature because that's not a play that Austin Davis sees. That's not a play that Austin Davis puts himself in a position to make.
Yeah.
Last season as a junior.
Are you excited for the new Dixie Chicks album?
I'm gonna say nothing for fear of incriminating myself. Now Austin Davis now 7 points, 3 for 5 from the floor, 4 rebounds, 2 offensive boards. However, he is one of only 3 Michigan players with a negative plus-minus. He's got -4. John says -7 to Julius, -6. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Isaiah Livers +25. Plus-minus is one of the weirdest stats out there.
It is a very odd stat.
You know, it's a stat. You know, it's a stat that you can't look at in a vacuum. That's when you go, okay, individually it means nothing, but if you have long stretches of time with consistently positive or consistently negative plus-minus, that tells you something, but it gets even weirder once you get to the sport of hockey, for example. Did you know that Quinn Hughes has like a -18 plus-minus despite being the highest scoring rookie?
No, I did not know that.
Well, there's useless information for you to know. All right, see, he's got 52 points, 8 goals, 44 assists, -10.
Yeah. Well, he had a minus last year at Michigan.
Most players had a minus at Michigan last year.
Yeah, but he was the team's leading scorer.
I mean, I think the only ones who had positive plus-minus for Michigan last season were Griffin Luce and Nick Blankenberg.
Okay. The goal differential on the season wasn't that negative.
Sorry?
So the goal differential on the season wasn't that negative, if I remember correctly.
No, the goal differential wasn't bad, but you had a lot of guys who were like -1, -2.
It was like 0 before they lost the last 4 games.
Yeah.
So here we go, final stretch run of the contest. 6:30 to go in the game. Michigan 68, Nebraska 50. Michigan has had a great second half. They led by just 4 at the half, and a sort of frustrating performance in the first half, have been much stronger in the second, and a quick touch foul on Xavier Simpson. That'll be his 3rd personal, but Michigan in no real worry about foul trouble. They have an 18-point commanding edge over a Nebraska team that's lost 16 straight games and sits at just 2-16 in the conference. Passing it around, outside, Cheatham pump fake, dribbles inside, back to the basket, will kick it out. Tries to find a man in the corner. That's Thorbjarnarsson. Double team, throws it up in the air, and then to no one in particular. Isaiah Livers grabs it down, throws it up to DeJulius, running the fast break. Too hot for him to handle it first. He hands it off to Teske for 3. No, but Brandon Johns battles for the rebound. Can't secure it. Cheatham grabs it. Hanif Cheatham brings it up. The leading scorer for the Huskers by average on the season, and also in this game, he's got 16. Gets it down to Udrago on the block. Baby hook there off the mark. Isaiah Livers pulls down the rebound. Tough game here today for Udrago.
That's Isaiah Livers' 10th rebound. He now has a double-double.
Yes, Udrago 1.5 rebounds, 3 turnovers. Livers 18 points and now 10 rebounds. Teske with the ball, 5:30 to go in the game. Still 68-50 Michigan. That ball thrown away. Ball on the floor. Nebraska picks it up. Michigan very sloppy right now. Their turnovers have gone up. That's number 9. Nebraska runs the fast break, and Brandon Johns applies pressure as Gervais Green misses an easy layup. Now up the other way, Simpson throws it to Teske to the corner. Livers for 3. That one pops in and pops out. Johns the offensive board. These two teams just trying cool stuff out, and Johns lays it in. 70-50 Michigan.
Right now, both teams just trying to score quickly. But first Teske and then DeJulius passing up opportunities for the fast break layups because they were off balance.
And now Burke drives to the lane, lays it up, and lays it in with the right hand right there. Simpson inbounds it to DeJulius. And Simpson dribbles it on up. 4:35 to go in the game. Simpson holds the ball, 4:30 remaining. Six on the shot clock, just trying to wind it down. Kick to the corner. Johns for 3. Ooh, did not hit any rim right there. Way overshot the runway. And it's 70-52. It still remains. Burke drives inside, and that one tipped off the fingers of Livers. So Nebraska's still okay. Shot clock at 20 as it was reclaimed by Cheatham. He passed it across to Green. Now got it back.
Cheatham caught it before it went behind the line anyway.
Yeah. Fadeaway long 2 is too strong. Rebound to Simpson. And he'll try to fire it inside, looking for Johns. Tipped off a finger and out of bounds. 3:47 remaining.
And you look at the game now, it's 18. At this point, if you're Juwan Howard, you can more or less do whatever you want because Simpson now is up to 3 fouls. If you're Juwan Howard, if I'm Juwan Howard, I wouldn't feel unjustified in just taking Simpson out for the game, or at least putting him in for another couple plays and then let him substitute during just a regular dead ball to go out to a standing ovation. See if you can ride it out with DeJulius. Give him some extended minutes running the offense like he did in Lincoln when Xavier Simpson was out with a suspension.
Yeah.
And Michigan's lead in Indy against Nebraska now 9, 71-62, 4.5 to go in the fourth quarter. But now Michigan this half has shown really what you want from this team. This has been a huge confidence boost in the second half. And you have every reason to feel a lot better now than you did after the first half. The first half, very dicey. But Michigan, whatever Juwan Howard said at halftime, definitely worked. And you see a Michigan team playing with a lot more intensity and a lot more initiative. And so far in the second half, they're getting rewarded with more shots falling.
Now some of the crowd starting to file out to try and beat traffic. Well, as a reminder of upcoming broadcasts, again at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, give or take, Michigan softball against UCLA tonight, then a couple broadcasts tomorrow afternoon, Michigan against UCF and Boston University in softball out in Los Angeles, California. And then we will have all of the games for this upcoming weekend's hockey series against Michigan State. Friday, Saturday, and potentially Sunday if necessary. Those games at 7, 7, and 6.
We're going to try our best to squeeze some more 70s bands references in there, too.
Yeah.
So we know that's the content you listen to.
Yeah.
Now, Nebraska, you look at their side with their scoring. Burke and Cheatham each have 16 points, but the problem is that it's coming so inefficiently. Cheatham, 6 for 13. Burke, 6 for 16. Both players shooting under 50% from the field, and that's really been the story of it. Nebraska is shooting 38% from the field now. Michigan's only marginally better at 42%, but their top scorers, actually, now that I look at it, I retract what I was going to say because Isaiah Livers 7 for 18 from the field, Teske 5 for 11 from the fields. My point is entirely invalid.
Livers inbounds it to DeJulius. They spring Livers free. Could have gone up with a 3, decided not to. Now John's in the corner. Isaiah Livers across to DeJulius. They got Teske down low. Now back to Livers. Pump fake around Thorbjarnarson. Pass it around Simpson from the corner. His three-pointer is good. Xavier Simpson knocks it in.
Now take him out now if you're Juwan Howard. You take him out now. You let him end his Michigan career on that. Or maybe let him get one more assist and go in with a double-double. There's Adrian Nunez. It might be time.
Passing around Urop across to Burke. He dribbles right around Livers underneath. Now kicks it back out. Cross. Going hard on Teske. Now passes it over to Urop. He runs into trouble and he threw it right to Livers, who takes it away. Livers, and Michigan leads by 21. They get Simpson in the corner for 3. Oh boy, that one missed all of the rim. And now Nebraska grabs down the rebound, come up with it. Guarding Simpson, dribbles inside, and they're going to get an offensive foul. So Simpson could end his Michigan career at home by drawing a charge.
Drawing a charge, and...
Nope, they're going to take Livers off.
They're taking out Livers.
And DeJulius inbounds it to Simpson. As Nunez comes into this game, Livers takes a seat. Simpson gets a screen from Johns. Kick it back out to him. He dribbles inside around contact, lays it up and lays it in. Count it, and a foul.
Now, are they giving Xavier Simpson an assist for that? Because he was the last person to touch the ball.
You would get an assist, yeah.
Johns did have to reset a little before the drive. So
I think you would. Let me look. Let's look at the stat sheet.
It's
Here it is. Teske's coming out.
Yeah, Teske's coming out.
Castleton comes in. The crowd on their feet. And a big hug from Juwan Howard.
And that's a good gesture from the Michigan fans, giving Teske a standing ovation. Throughout his Michigan career, he's had his fair share of frustrating games, but an amazing gesture. And you figure Simpson not too far away from getting one of his own.
Yeah. And Brandon Johns makes the free throw. No one was watching it.
And Simpson is not getting credited with the assist.
Okay.
Because it's not like hockey where it's just the touch and then the score.
And now Badgema's at the scorer's table as Nebraska plays with the ball, 2:15 remaining. That one tipped underneath, takeaway by Brandon Johns. So you have to think next whistle. They'll then put Badgema in and take Simpson out. Simpson pass underneath. Johns right there! Yes, it is! There's the assist, and now Juwan Howard calls his timeout.
He's got an assist, and there he goes.
And Nebraska inbounds it in as the crowd's still on their feet. Michigan's quietly on an 8-0 run. Burke drives inside, and he's denied by Adrian Nunez. And the ball goes out of bounds off Nunez. Now underneath, Cheatham tried to lay it up and then draws a foul. 1:58 remaining.
And another great gesture from the fans there. Xavier Simpson getting a send-off he deserves, as he's been the most consequential Michigan player the last 4 years.
And the first free throw goes down by Cheatham.
Great final night for Jeff Jackson.
Second one rattles around and out. Johns grabs the rebound across to DeJulius. Michigan probably content to just hold it for a while unless they want to get Badgemore or Nunez a shot.
Say this is the corner. They're in the corners offense now.
They go to Castleton on the post. Double team, threw it out to Badgema. Dribbles inside, pull-up jumper, knocks it down. Cole Badgema has been a great shooter this year for Michigan, and he continues.
We haven't seen a lot of Badgema, and he still looks really skinny. He's going to have to put on a lot of weight to contribute. But
and there's a layup, and it's no good.
He's got a nice stroke.
Yeah, Cheatham draws a foul there. He'll go to the line for 2. Badgema definitely looks natural, and following the game, Michigan basketball seniors will address the crowd, apparently.
Yes, it's a little bit like last year when Charles Matthews had the microphone thrown in his face when he very clearly did not want to talk.
I don't really remember that game. First one goes through. What was it?
It was also against Nebraska.
Oh yeah, I was in studioing that game.
Oh, were you?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was on the crew for that game. That was Charles Matthews. He has the microphone. He just goes, yeah, man, yeah. Very clearly did not want to speak.
Cheatham makes both free throws. Michigan leads by 25. Now into Castleton underneath, and he traveled.
Castleton looked like he was just going to go up and dunk the ball, but held on a little too long.
And Brandon Johns coming out of the game. Jaron Faulds will check in. Really getting into the reserves now.
Isn't this Jaron Faulds' last game?
I have no idea. I think he's actually got one more year. Burke over to Cheatham. Pump fakes around Nunez. Across to Cross. His three-pointer is too strong. Nunez the rebound. Last minute of play. Michigan leads by 25, 80-55. Julius across to Nunez. He drives inside and lays it up and lays it in.
I'm surprised we haven't heard any "We Want CJ" chants from the Maze Rage.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any of the real walk-ons are going to come in. Easley over to Urop. Dribbles in the lane, puts it up. No, tipped around, gets his own rebound. Faulds fouls him, and it goes. He'll get an and one opportunity to try and trim the lead down to 24 with 37 seconds remaining.
And now the game winding down in Indy. Michigan's up 5, 76-71 with 42 seconds left against Nebraska. And here comes Luke Wilson in. David DeJulius, the last regular player who gets pulled.
Yeah, so they'll finish with Nunez, Castleton, Wilson, Faulds, and Badgema. Michigan will have to get one more shot off. And Luke Wilson across to Badgema. 20 seconds on the shot clock, 25 on the game clock. Faulds backing in, and he had it stripped. Nebraska doesn't have to take another shot. 15 seconds remaining. Shot clock is turned off. Have to figure they'll jack one last one up. Cheatham for 3, and that one's off the mark. Picked around and picked up by Cross. Now over to Easley inside. Flips it to Urop on the baseline. His jumper no good. Tipped around. And that's it. Horn sounds. Michigan wins by 24. Michigan 82. Nebraska 58.
And if you're Michigan, you're where you want it. You sent the seniors off. Well, you gotta win by a very large margin. You have every reason to feel confident going into Maryland on Sunday.
That's a Terps team that's been struggling.
Exactly. Terps took a gut punch loss to Rutgers. That game very much in play for Michigan. I think the double bye is long gone, but they can at least get a good single bye seeding. I don't know if they've yet locked up a later game time on Thursday
No, they
but
haven't.
Excuse me?
They have not.
Okay. But either way, you have every reason to feel good. You covered the 17-point spread when it looked like you wouldn't at halftime. All in all, perfectly fine final night of Juwan Howard's first season at home.
Well, that does it. Final score, Michigan 82, Nebraska 58. We'll be back at it tomorrow night at Yost Ice Arena with Michigan hockey. But until then, good night and go blue.